Hello everyone and welcome to another Digimon Ghost Game video. This time I'm going to be giving out my thoughts about the latest episode of Ghost Game, which is episode 12, Chain Letter. This time the Mon of the Week appears in the form as a swarm of Zassoumon, and each Zassoumon appears when a chain email is sent, when somebody deletes that email, and it's sent after it's deleting. So the deleting actually triggers the virus to send out the email, which is actually kind of scary, that whole idea. So the Zassoumon appear, and that's the Mon of the Week. So during the battle, Hero hesitates to evolve Gammamon, and he's unsure what form that it would take, so he's hesitating like, oh, it could be Battle Gammamon, it could be Chaos Gammamon, what sort of tactic should I have in this battle? But then Gammamon tells him not to hesitate, and he ends up evolving anyway because there's no time to hesitate. And we get a new evolution to Wezen Gammamon, which is like this Triceratops, but with these little guns on his head, and it's kind of cute. And I kind of thought that this would happen earlier in the series, and then I thought, oh, maybe it's going to be not this week, but next week, and then I guess we have it this week. So that was surprising, and it would be more surprising if the official Digimon Twitter account didn't tweet straight away after the episode aired this morning that Wezen Gammamon was appearing in this episode. So, thanks Twitter. And everyone was like retweeting. I'm like, okay, I guess that's happening this time. But in any case, the fight surely ends as an older looking Zassoumon appears, and he apologizes, and he says that he got his, the flock was loose basically, and it just sort of appeared and was motivated by drinking the water. And of course we also have Kiyoshiro is kind of angry about Zassoumon appearing and says, okay, well, don't let them let loose again. And this is because Kiyoshiro was blamed for this chain letter, because even though he deleted it, that's when it triggers and the email is sent. And a lot of people were blaming him as the cause of it for getting it out. And also we have Jellymon, who was actually quite fearful of the Zassoumon, which is a nice little aspect of her character. And this is because she resembles water. So the Zassoumon were kind of obsessed with her and they wanted revenge. So both of them were really angry at this older Zassoumon. However, when this older Zassoumon leaves, he kind of gives like a really suspicious like look. So I'm wondering if we'll get a returning bad guy in the same way that I'm still waiting for Dracomon to appear again as a bad guy. And the same way, of course, as we have Clockmon, who has sort of had their redemption already. So he's a good guy now, but a reoccurring character. So that's kind of cool. And I mean, while nothing seemingly too plot important happened, other than the fact that we might have a new character, or a recurring bad guy rather, this episode had a lot of things to like about it, especially the fact that each character had a great input into the episode's overall plot. So we have Ruri seeking out information from Bokumon, and she leads some rescue and evacuation efforts from this restaurant that she's in, and she rescues her friends. So she had some input into the episode. We also had, as I mentioned, Kiyoshiro, who was quite fearful of the Zassoumon, but also wanted to clear his own name, and Jellymon herself was quite fearful of the Zassoumon because they were going to eat her, basically, so that's horrifying. And then, of course, we have Hero, who is struggling with the idea that his Digimon has multiple forms it can take, and he's not sure what form he'll be getting, and he's also not sure which form will suit the tactics of the battle. So that's a nice aspect of the episode as well. It also addresses that Hero's trying to sort of think about what sort of tactics each battle needs, and that's kind of like a nice sort of thing. We also, interestingly, get another first case of an attack being more widespread and widely seen. It's not just a few humans being impacted by this hologram ghost. We have several humans being affected in one area, and everyone seems to see it. Everyone seems to see this chain letter. Everyone seems to be hit by it. So it's more of a widely known hologram ghost rather than something that's just going to go around as a bit of a rumor. So that's an interesting take as well. In addition, we also saw the fact that humans were fighting against the hologram ghosts. And I'm hoping that this is mentioned in future episodes and isn't just swept under the rug. A lot of problems that Digimon has is that it won't let the events that impact a large percentage of the population, they don't really let that stay as important. Like in the original adventure, we had the Gammamon Attacks, which basically hit a large population. And then in 02, we're all pretending that Digimon don't exist. And we had a similar-ish thing to try, but it was slightly more widely known that Digimon are real. It's a weird sort of thing that Digimon has, is they like to have things be high stakes, but also don't want humans to know about Digimon. So it's a little bit weird there. This episode also had rather nice animation, and we had a nice flow of green with the Zassoumon, which was oddly fitting because the Zassoumon was so gross, and it really made the Zassoumon look gross. It's a gross spam letter, and I feel like having something that's a weed was a good Digimon analogy for spam, because it spreads like a weed, and it just grows and grows and grows, and it's sent out to one person, and that one person can send it out to 5 people, and each of those 5 people will send it out to 5 people each. It's a nice sort of analogy to have it as a weed for this chain letter. And it's also using a Digimon that has been around for decades. Zassoumon appeared in the Digimon World PlayStation 1 game, so that's over 2 decades of this Digimon, and it not really showing much in the anime. So it's really nice that we got to see another old school Digimon appear alongside the new blood, the new cast of the franchise. So that's pretty neat. However, of course, the downside of most of episodes of Ghost Game so far is definitely it's hurt and struggling by the short runtime, or what would usually be the normal runtime for an episode of Digimon. 20 minutes usually gets the point across. However, and I mention this every week, Ghost Game is almost struggling with the fact that it has to keep these episodes so short. We have each episode having a great start and a great middle, but by the time we get to the actual fight, it has to be cut short or it just goes too quickly. And that's because we've run out of time by the time we get to the end of the episode, to the climax. And it always feels like it ends far too soon. We had Tesla Jellymon fighting and she's doing really well, and then we had Gammamon saying, oh, I want to fight too, we have to fight because Angoramon is struggling in this battle. And that's something else that we have. We have a Digimon that's struggling to keep up with the other teammates, because the other teammates are adult level, Zassoumon's adult level, even though they're a weak adult level, so Angoramon is struggling. So we have a few aspects there going on the fight, and then the fight happens. We have Wezen Gammamon. Wezen Gammamon's fighting, and then it ends. It ends because it's cut short by the older Zassoumon. Which again, it's nice seeing older Zassoumon, that's cool too. It's something I liked in Frontier, where we have all these Digimon and then they had like an elder, which was this exact same Digimon, not a new variant or like a new form or anything, but just like it had a walking stick, and that was kind of cool. But yeah, anyway, so the elder Zassoumon cuts the battle short very soon after the evolution, so we don't get much of a showcase of Wezen Gammamon. And it's something that happens each week in Digimon Ghost Game, and I really hope they get over that soon. I know because this season's going to be more episodic, that each episode needs to be slightly more self-contained, but each episode feels like it could very much well be better off with a 40-minute long episode just to get the ideas across better, because the ideas expressed are very good, and we have a good explanation of what's happening, what the Mon of the Week is, what's causing it, and we're investigating it, what's causing it, and what Digimon is showing up, and it's a great showcase of the story. But when it comes to the actual fight, it just ends very quickly, and I'm hoping that that isn't the case the rest of the episodes, but I'm starting to think that it actually very well might be, because, as I said, it's episodic. We have to cut each episode in 20 minutes. And I feel like if it was a 40-minute long episode, each episode would be really, really good. We'd have a great battle, great action, great resolution, while still keeping that good first 15 minutes of the episode without letting it go on too long. So I feel like that would be great, but we're not having that. So it's, again, a problem that this show has. But in any case, I'm really enjoying this series still, and I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a solid episode. I like how, even though it was a Hero evolution episode, Hero wasn't really the focus at all, only for that little 2-minute segment of him worrying about what evolution to take did we have Hero in the episode. So it was a nice combination of all the characters, and I really enjoyed that. And something I'm enjoying a lot from Ghost Game is the fact that we're having a good balance of these characters. It's not too hero-focused in a hero evolution episode, and I really appreciate that. I would very much say that this was, in fact, a Kiyoshiro episode, despite the fact we had a Wezen Gammamon evolution. And even then, we also had a Ruri-focused part, which was she rescued the characters but then struggled in the battle because we don't have an evolution from Angoramon yet. So there was a lot to like in this episode. But in any case, what were your thoughts on this episode? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!